Hello, friends. Let's begin today with the concept of reversal. Reversal after the surprise, critical choice, and climax is a natural way of arousing interest in the story or reconstructing the plot in an opposite direction. If there was no reversal, then why should the author take the story to a higher altitude? For example, the mountaineers climbing the mountain, climax, tension at its zenith, have to be brought back on a lower plateau in their hometown. However, this is not so simple as it looks. Most reversals are events which are opposite to climaxes. In my novel, Together with You Forever, I showed that the defunct protagonist being found and brought home from gallivanting in the streets for nothing. It identifies exactly what had happened to my protagonist and what's new now that may happen. The result of previous actions or previous event, the character Robin D'Souza, who was lost in, is a changed person now. The questions would still remain. Why did he gallivant or abscond, and for what reason? A living person is found dead. This is usually used reversal. Stephen King calls this killing your darlings. Resolution, the final act. The resolution is basically the end of a wonderful story. The characters now return to a state of equilibrium or stasis, or the characters have returned to their suspended animation status. However, the stasis would also be the beginning of a new series as we see the series on Netflix or Amazon Prime arousing a new quest through a new trigger. Hence, what we call resolution may in fact would be a fresh tension. Now comes the factor of the bonus which I promised in the last video. Now the bonus that I had promised to my viewers is this. I learned creative writings by watching many different videos which were available on the internet. But during the course of penning down my novel, I hit upon a book that changed the face of my manuscript. This had been just by chance, and I'd certainly like to mention here who and what made me re-look into my book and the manuscript of my book afresh with a different perspective. Nigel Watts, a doctorate in creative writing from University of East Anglia, changed my perception into a new dimension. His celebrated book, Writing a Novel and Getting Published, intrigued me as the book has a reference to Rabindranath Tagore, the great Indian poet. Being an Indian myself, while reading a sample of the book, I decided to buy a copy and learn the lessons. The 8-point arc that I tried to put into practice is the creation of Dr. Watts. And I'm humble enough to say that I learned the technique of how to use the ARC method by following his guidelines for my debut novel. Whoever wants to learn about creative writings and applying the techniques of his in his or her manuscript, I highly recommend to obtain a copy of this Teach Yourself book. You will learn many more dimensions to writing and publishing by following diligently this celebrated book. To recapitulate the ARC method of Dr. Watts: 1. Stasis. 2. Trigger. 3. Quest. 4. Surprise. 5. Critical choice. 6. Climax. 7. Reversal. 8. Resolution. Here I end my video with a request to comment below and subscribe for many more enlightening videos and my process of creative writings. Thank you.